Hello, welcome to the puzzle streak. I'm going to try once again to crush this record of 143. So, this one is that, rook b8, king has to go to e7, and then we have a nice fork. Checkmate. Well, I guess it's taking, yeah. I mean, if rook takes, there's also gonna be queen d3, cd, and then rook c7. This way, we have rook takes c7 and on d2. Luckily, black has back rank issues, so rook d7 is possible. And that's a huge one. This and that. I would take on h5, it hangs, and after that check and check to pick up this rook. So let's do that. Check on b7, king d8, queen c8. I would say in first 30, just look for checks, double attacks. It's nothing profound, I think, like intermediate moves or anything like that. It's more of a basic, like some skewer. Or here, for example, some back rank issues. Queen h5, king g8, rook to d8. Just some 1-2 punch sequences. Discovered attacks. Again, a little modified back rank issue, because here if you went immediately rook e1, it wouldn't do the job, but first you lure the king away. If king d1, then rook d4. Hey GD, good luck in the tournament. Let me know what you did. Now, this is a hanging piece. What is happening here? f6 is not available, but if I use my rook from h2 to deflect this pawn by rook h6, then it is available. Rook f6 and it's checkmate. So this and rook f6. Oh, that's cool. Keep it going. Keep going strong. Rook d7 and then take. What's happening here? Well, if I do a triple fork, there's queen g3, single mate. So queen d8, knight f7, knight e5. What is happening here? Well, bishop on c1 defends b2 at the moment, but if I take on g5, it's not going to defend b2 anymore, and then this rook is in danger. So let's trade queens and take on b2. If I push, he's going to stop my pawn, but if I play rook d5 first, then the pawn will be pushed without any interference. Let's go. Rook a2 and bishop c3, and then white's king is in sort of a cage. Two pieces on the same diagonal. Invitation for some bishop f4 skewer. Check and mate. If I take, my queen is attacked and taken. So I can unpin by exchanging queens and then taking this free knight. Okay. First of all, this looks very tempting, but white has different ways of dealing with this. He can defend by bishop d3, by knight d2, or simply by capturing with check. Bishop f6 and then bishop d3. So we can do knight e4 first, and when queen goes to e4, we have a skewer. Bishop f5. Attacking queen and rook at the same time. I mean, rook is attacked by x-ray. So let's take it and do what I told. Bishop g6. In Danger Gaming, I'm playing these puzzles, so some other day. I'm really trying to crush this rating. What? No. Oh, but I'm a knight down. Oh, jeez. Didn't see that this happens. Well, that's a poor start. Poor start. But today is the day. I can feel it. Today is the day. I got a feeling. Whoops. Almost. Almost messed that up. Take and then queen g7. Defend this poor guy. Check, check, and then discover check. What is this? Just push. Check and then take. Do you simply push, or what's the catch? What's the big catch? 25. Well. Let's take this one, because if I take on e5, he's gonna take my h5 pawn. So let's make it. Let's get into a position, keep my h pawn alive, and then go after the e pawn, which cannot be defended so easily. It's impossible to defend it. So let's do it. Takes and then d2. If I go b2, the king is too close to d pawn, so I'm sacrificing the pawn which is closer to the king, so the bishop cannot stop the b pawn. Okay, this one seems like it should be rook h1, luring the king into unfavorable position, and then finishing the job. Well, just take and take a rook. Will this be my daily record? Oh my god. 31. Breaking all records. And now 32. Unbelievable. And it's getting higher. Now, if I move my queen, queen moves away. So I gotta take a rook before I take the queen on h3. And that's about it. What happens here? Check, king f5, check, king e5, checkmate on e4. That sounds right. Okay, this one has to be it. Yes. Check. And now the king is in big trouble. If king e8, bishop b5, king d8, queen d6, king c8, bishop a6. If he goes to d8 immediately, queen d6, king c8, bishop a6 again. So let's give one check and then think. Here and bishop a6. Yeah. Maybe I can take and then enter with my rook. That seems like a good choice. Takes, rook h7, and then do whatever. d4 takes, bishop c4. Hitting all the pieces, all the heavy pieces. Whoa. Okay, let's take it, and now I believe I should take to make this passed pawn the a pawn, so that my h pawn, when it promotes, the queen will cover a8. So you see now, queen protects a8. So what is this? e7, king f7, and queen to d7, promoting on the next move? I really think it is. Excellent. Checkmate in one. That's always nice. Here, well, maybe just some bishop b6, king c8, rook e8, king d7, queen e7, checkmate. Or this. Check. When the king steps on the b file, I have a check and I'll pick up the queen. Seems good. Let's see what happens here. Takes, b5, king d6, king to here. Shubham, sorry, I cannot play today. I am trying to get a record in Puzzle Streak. So take and go. If I go c5, he takes and goes c6, so that's not gonna work. So b5 forces him to go to d6, and then I go to f5 and I'll pick up e5, which I think is enough for a win. Oh, but he goes to f6. That's interesting. By the way, tomorrow I think I will do playing with the viewers type of stream. So you'll have a chance tomorrow. FM in Lichess has 2700 rating. No, not yet, but I'll try. Maybe this and bishop f1. Wait, bishop g2, king g1? What's happening there? This, and bishop f1 maybe simply. Queen d2. Oh, but there's queen f3. I completely missed that. Okay, that makes sense then. Oh, but then you take a rook, don't you? Okay. Let's move away. Oh, but then there's queen e7, isn't there? In it. Wait, queen h4, queen e7, takes, and I'm what, a pawn up? But I would say with chances to take a second pawn and with some h-file action. Also, how do you address this queen attack? It's not easy. I mean, you cannot take on f2. You can, but rook f2 doesn't bring that much. So yeah, let's go after this and exchange queens. Knight f6, maybe. Gf, queen h6. Bishop f2 wouldn't change much because even after that the queen has to move. So I would just give up the bishop for nothing, so knight f6, this, take on h6, fg, hg, and I have some attack on the h-file, which looks devastating. HG. Oh, look at that. Rook h1 with famous motive. Bishop d3. Well, I gotta take, and then when he takes back, queen e4 with a couple of checks which lead to checkmate. King h8, queen e8, king h7, queen f7 with queen g7. Thank you, D-Day. Whoa. Whoa, what is now? Wait a sec. Queen g6, queen g7, push the pawn. Should be right. This type of puzzle is always in the puzzle streak. Bishop on c4, king is lured to h8, and then you take on g6, open up the h-file, and give a checkmate with a heavy piece. Always happens. Always. What's happening here? Rook g... no. This queen is a bit stuck, so bishop e8. Bishop e8, hg, and then you take on h5 and everything's good. Okay, this one, this has to be some queen trade, but let's see which one. Which one works for us? If I go for this one, takes, king g3, h5, king f4, he picks up my pawn and he's in time to catch my h-pawn. So let's do queen g6, since this majority is useless on the queen side and I have a passed pawn. So I don't need split pawns to win the game here, I just need to exchange queens, but without changing the structure. And we go. Here we go. Knight d3, here king f2, what is that? b7? I'm puzzled, but okay. I had enough. I had this one before, I had this one maybe a week ago. Rook c2, king e1, rook to c1, king f2, and then maybe give a check like via f8. Alright, cool. Well, this is a critical connection. If knight moves, rook is lost completely. So if I go g6, what's gonna happen? If you take as intermediate move, rook d8, I attack your queen and knight is lost. You can't cover successfully. Both d6 and d4 are controlled very well, and that's bad for white. g6. Okay, what is this? Queen takes d4 looks good. Because if I take with the knight, queen c4, black is a pawn up without much compensation, plus e4 might hang in the end. So queen d4, let's take a look at this until the end. So e d4, bishop c7, d3, but I believe that after simply capturing bishop a1, rook a1, white has two pieces for a rook, so that's good enough. Plus the bishop on g7 is missing, so the dark squares might be a little iffy. Oh boy. This one, he wants to promote. Good for him. Good for him. But if I go h7 now, he's gonna go rook h1 and pick up my pawn. So let's take the pawn. And then when he goes rook h1 to go rook d6. Sounds like a good thing. And then I pick up c6, pick up a6, and with two pawns so far away, it's not possible to handle it. So just do this and defend. This should be checkmate in 2, a4 and ba4. This should be Fischer-Spassky, g6, and then trap the bishop, take it with the king. So let's say g6, f5, bishop d3, oh, maybe it's not that simple. Aha, I can go g6, f5, king f8. And when fg, king g7. Crucial is that bishop on e7 covers promotion square. So in case of gf7, I can take a bishop and not care about the pawn yet. So yeah, let's trap the bishop and then go king f8. Because if I go for this one, He has fg, h4, h5, and he's gonna get his bishop out by exchanging or simply by bishop g8 in the first place. So let's go here. Sure. Fellow forum, hello. How's you? Maybe rook f8 to attack f2. That looks decent. Take on f2 with the queen and then use the back rank issues of white. Oh, he takes it. So sad. Take on c7. If he takes back, I take on d5 and knight is pinned. If you don't take it by any chance, then I take on d5, take on d7. You only have 2 pawns for a piece. I don't think it's enough. Let's go. But wait, maybe queen g3. Damn it. But maybe there's just king a7 and defend. Let's play simply. Simply chess. Knight f3, and if king g2 to defend h3, there's gonna be knight h4. Rook. So yeah, that's it. Like, if you don't defend it, I take it. Simple as that. Oh, he takes it. Poor soul. What, knight g5, king d7 takes e4 maybe, and then you push your f pawn. This has to be broken. But how do you break up this? Well, maybe you don't break up. Maybe the point is to use the passed pawn, the second element in this position. I thought it's something like disconnecting the rook and the bishop, but the rook has many squares to go to. So, or just give a check. So rook c4, and now e6 is able to be pushed. Able to be pushed. Interesting construction. Fe and then f7. So let's say rook c4, e6, rook h4 takes, rook h8, knight g5, and then I'll get knight h7 to promote. This seems like it's gonna be enough. Oh, but he just plays like that. Okay. Bishop d5. If I take with the knight, bishop g5. But with bishop d5, bishop on b7 hangs, so black has to capture on d5. And then I input bishop e7, lure the queen on the e file, and then the pin decides the game. Knight d5. You cannot take because queen hangs. Okay, this queen seems a bit trapped, but is that really a problem? Rook a2, we can ignore this. Rook a2, and then if you take rook a1, of course. But let's say if king to b1, I can double my rooks, and that's trouble. If you go c3, I go b3 and lock the king up. Let's go for it. c4, didn't expect it, but let's go b3, like I said before. Same idea. To lock down the king. Yasser, hello. I think this is the one. I told that about the previous one, but it didn't work out for the best. But you gotta believe. You gotta believe. Oh, this one. This one. Queen b6 check looks decent, because my problem here is that he wants to go queen g6 and give me a checkmate. But if I go queen b6 first, I'm stopping queen g6, and this only looks scary, this combination. But actually there's no follow-up check. And after check on b6, I can take on a1 and bring my bishop back, which feels pretty safe. So let's do that. Let's just do that. Okay. Excellent. Ooh, exchange down for white, but he has some nasty pawns. Nasty pawns. I guess it's queen e1 check. The only move is queen d1, and then we go for bishop b2. Now, if king takes, I take the queen, so rook has to capture. And then rook c4. The only move that doesn't lose the queen is rook c2. And then I take, king takes, and finally rook c8 comes into the play. And now you gotta separate the king and the queen. I mean, you can delay for 2 moves by bishop c7, knight c5, but I just gobbled this bishop and knight. And in the end, the king is gonna be separated from the queen. So let's just do that. Bishop b2. Oh, but he takes it immediately. Doesn't want to be tortured. Interesting concept. Rook f3, if queen takes, knight h2, and then take it. And if gf, just queen f2 mate. Okay, whoa, what is that? Do I go e5 with knight f6, or what's the catch? What's the actual catch? But let's say I go e5 and he goes h5. What do I do next? Do I sack a knight on h5, or what is really... Oh no, I just play knight f6 and take on d8, having 2 knights for a rook. My bad. My very bad. Knight f6 and then take a... not free queen, but a queen. Take and go queen d4. Okay, 74. That looks good. What's the material count here? Oh, I'm a rook down. Oof. Not good. Not very good. But alright. 95 to have knight f3. So knight e5, queen d5, knight f3, king f1, and what's the final dagger? Bishop h3, or what is it? Rook g2 takes, queen h2 and checkmate on h1 slash g1. I think it's that. Knight e5, knight f3, and here we go. Here we go. Takes, rook c1, attacking the bishop. If b6, then b4. d3, just move the bishop to d1 to stop the pawn. And if d2, rook c2. If the bishop was not on d1, I would have to break the pin on the c file to keep an eye on the d pawn. This way it's all controlled. So one more thing, if you go for d3 after bishop e5, there's bishop g4 check. A big oops. And second, if I went for rook c1 immediately, then, well, I guess bishop d6 would be a move, saving a piece. Sure. Oh, this one might be tricky because I gotta figure out what's the difference between rook f1 immediately and queen e5 immediately. Takes, king h7. Aha, maybe if I take immediately, I cannot take on e5 in the end, because rook on e7 hangs. So if I take, let's say, on f1, he takes back with, well, I don't think it matters, but let's say king takes, queen e5, gh. You gotta capture because of queen g8. And then queen h4. You'll take on e7 and that's it. So if you take on e5 first, and he takes on h7, check. Then king takes, queen h4, king g7, I defend the rook, and he has one check maybe, but king f8 and all is good. Or rook g6. So I'll go, my final answer is queen e5. Okay. Check, king f7, check, and then king has to be the party pooper. Get to the e file when the rook on e4 is not defended anymore. Okay, this one. This one looks like queen g8, queen g7, but we'll see. Queen g8, here queen g7, king e6, queen f6, king d5. I don't like this, it looks very loose. Maybe it's bishop takes f6. Bishop f6, queen g8, but he escapes to d8, damn it. Well, this one looks failable. No, but in the end of this line I have yes, I have long castle just. Do I have a right to castle? Yeah, I do. So this, queen g7, king e6, queen f6, king d7, long castle. And you can't go really queen e6. Oh, but there's also queen d8 if you go there. Okay. With rook h6, I guess. So that could be the right thing to do. Oh, but it could be also so wrong to do. Wait, here, king d7, long castle, queen e6, queen d8, king c6, rook h6, cb2, king b1, but then the d6 pawn hangs like a chandelier. And now I take it. Yes. Cats, hello. Oh, this one looks messed up. Looks all messed up. Why not take the rook with the bishop first move? Let's check it out. So this was the puzzle. Let's say if you take on f6, I was looking at this line, queen g8, king e7, rook h7, but then after king e8 I couldn't really find what next. Now you're basically forced to exchange pieces, to exchange queens first, to take on c8, but if we count material, black has two minor pieces for a rook. Let's say you take on b2, I go rook b1, let's say knight d7, and the game goes on, like takes, rook b8. You can't even take on b2 because of knight d3, so it's a little too complicated. But I felt like after this... Ante, hello. I thought this was really dangerous for black. Because after, let's say, queen e6, there's gonna be queen d8 and rook h6 hitting third time on d6. And what do you do? I mean, you can take, but I won't take back. Because maybe if I take back, you have some knight c4 to survive, you know, defend d6 enough times. So just king b1. There's no follow-up check, and white's gonna do some damage in the following moves. But yeah, it felt like this could be also the answer, but king escapes to d8. What's happening here? Could I play? No. I thought about f6, but it looks very slow. f6, rook d5, queen b8 check, queen f8, Bishop h7, king f7. Queen b7, king e6. Bishop g8, queen g8, queen e7, king f5, f7. Is this so sick? Why is this so sick? Wait, it can't be that sick for 79. Oh, I'm doing great, if you're asking me. If you're talking to me. f6. But also bishop e4 looks decent. Bishop e4, but I don't know, it looks so unforcing. Yes, yes, let's go. I'll do a longer one today, I hope. Because usually I do puzzle streak like maybe 2 hours, even less. But let's do it, let's make it a little longer. But this one is so tricky. f6, rook d5, queen b8, queen f8, bishop h7, king f7, queen b7. Shivrai, thank you for the sub. King e6, but this bishop g8 stuff is really sick. Queen g8, queen e7, king f5, f7. I hope it works. But again, f6, I'm not forced to do anything. I can do... But if I don't do anything, then it's even worse. f6, what do you do? Queen d7. Shiv, okay. Oh, but then you have bishop f5. Aha, f6, and if you don't do anything, bishop f5, bishop e6. Can be quite disturbing. But I think this whole line is just very sick for 2200 puzzle, I don't know. What to do? f6, yes or no? Wait, on f6, rook f4. Oh, there's queen g5. Oh, I also want to go here, yeah, of course. Of course. Okay, let's pray for f6 to work. Yeah, I gotta give a check. You see, this is where it stops. Okay, f6 here, here. So the point is, after king f7, I got this check. If you take, I take a rook, and on check on e7, bishop e4, and white wins that. But if king e6, there was bishop g8. Bishop g8, and now the most principled is to take queen e7 here and f7. Promote next. But I don't know, this is too complex, I would say. King e6, let's see what the engine says. Bishop g8, yeah. And then bishop d5 slash queen d5 works. Okay. Mystery solved. Oh. Well, if I take with this one, bishop d5 might work. Or will it? Will it? Yeah, Shiv, this is chess. One mistake and my streak is gone. That's how it works. So if I take with this one, bishop d5. So I think I gotta take with this one. Bishop d5, knight d5, rook f8, bishop f8, queen e4, but doesn't matter. Queen b6 and some discovered check. Discovered attack on the queen, because I cover e6. Oh, this one. Yeah, as I told. Well, rook d5 doesn't. Why wouldn't it work? Rook d5, f4, rook d1, queen to g2, and now you pick knight f3 or queen takes. So So rook d5, cd5, there's queen g2 and take a rook. If rook h4, then queen takes simply, and on cd there's checkmate on h1. Aha, there's one more thing. One more thing to consider. Rook g1. Rook g1, but then queen f5. Or wait, maybe there's e4 here. No, there's nothing. So rook d5, rook g1, queen f5, cd, queen h3, here knight f3, king d1, knight takes g1, and this should be over. I mean, there's a d pawn, but I don't have faith in it. Queen f5 to have queen h3. And that's it. At first I wanted something like queen g1, king g1, rook d2, you know. But he has queen g4, or just escape to f1. So, tough luck. Rook g1 has to pick up this, has to pick up that, so well, let's push. Let's push, and if rook g3, push more. If he defends against the d pawn, then the g pawn runs. If you give a check, king f6. Yeah, these checks might be a bit annoying. What's happening on king f4? Rook f1, here rook f8. I think he's surviving that. d6. And maybe on checks, just go king f5 or king f6. But then this happens. King f4, rook f1. King g5. Rook to d1, g7, rook d5. What is that? Damn it. I don't like it. Quite a lazy calculator. Aha, maybe there's d6 on check, there's king d5. That could be. But also king f4 looks so good. Because you don't have time for stuff like king c5, g7 and one check, king g4, nothing happens. King f4, here, king g5, here. Or you might have rook d1, that's annoying. g7 takes, king g6, go here, king f7, promote takes, here. Maybe you get on time. I don't really get it. Push here. Rook f8, g7. Let's go d6. And then d7. I gotta see what's up with king f4. So if you move here, g7 wins. Okay, rook f1, king g5, rook a1, or let's say d1, g7 here, king f6, rook d8, king f7, king c5, your queen. Oh yeah, this pawn is lost. How did I calculate this so badly? Like, I thought I get in time. Oh, but I told king e4, king f6, and that's it. Yeah, just a blunder. Queen h6. Jeez. I think I gotta travel to h4. If I go back, rook b6, rook e6, rook e6, f e6, queen g7. This doesn't look great. King g5 back. I mean, I can probably just go give a check and then rook g1. So let's go. Let's move it. If I move my rook away, what is gonna happen? What is gonna happen? Well, I have to move my rook, because if I go to h3, then big whoopsie. Rook b3. If I play f6, then he simply takes. And then exchanges queens, that's it. So I got to take it. this one is mysterious. What if I take on d4 and take on c5? What's happening? What's happening? I'm 2 pawns up. Does he have some rook b8 stuff? But not really. Why is this so easy? It shouldn't be so easy. Oh, that's why. I see. Takes this, takes. And probably some bishop c6 stuff would work. Or maybe queen c3 and pick up the this pawn. No, but then rook b3, queen e5, check, go here, and this one looks... Aha, but no, there's nothing, because always rook on b1 will hang. Because I wanted maybe bishop b5, but then rook on b1 hangs. With some check with the queen. So... yeah, let's take on c5. I mean, if I go here, he'll take twice. Queen c5, but now this seems like just a worse version. Check, rook b7, bishop b5. Not good enough. So let's just take it. Bishop c6. If I take it back, he might have knight e5 and the game goes on. But if I go bishop d3 first, that could be the game changer, because on queen d2 then I can take and the king cannot castle. And that's most of it, yeah. The king cannot castle. I might just play knight e4 next, like bishop d3 here, bc. Follow up with knight e4 and it looks pretty bad. Because even if you achieve a queen trade, let's say takes, rook a1, bishop a1, I have a rook on the a file, enter on a2, and it's tough to survive that. If not impossible. So I would go for bishop d3 as a first move and then think from there. Now bishop e4, not a huge fan because of bishop e4. Rook d2, knight d2, and then defend d4, so I would just take on c6 and take it from there. Like, if bishop e5, I have bishop e4, capture a knight, and bishop also hangs. And anytime you take on f6, rook on a1 hangs as well, so it doesn't look so bad. bc, please. Okay. What is this? Bishop c4. Nope. Nope. But maybe it's rook e6. On rook e6 there's bishop c4. And something is gonna happen. Or on queen e6, rook g7, king h8, and then rook e7. Piece up, easy game, GG. So this, rook e6, bishop c4, rook e8, rook g6, and things are tough. e6 is attacked 3 times. If king f7, I can take on g7 with checkmate, so there's no way to defend that. And let's go for it. Okay, check, king h2, queen d4 maybe, threatening queen f4, and let's say on queen c7, how much hue and brightness am I using in this board? Let's see. Is it good or bad? Hue is 155, and let me just write it down. Opacity is maximum. Yeah. So this one. Queen d4, queen c7, queen g1, king. Aha, I have h4 in the end. Oh, I didn't. I wasn't looking for that. Rook d1 here, queen d4, defending f6, which is important, and having this. So queen c7. No, this has to work. I can't give this check because of queen c7, so only thing left is queen d4. Oh, promotion. Wait, but this is checkmate in 2, right? Check, queen g5 mate. Okay. Interesting. Here, King e6, queen g4, takes, king here, king takes here. Oh, so slow. So super slow. But not this check. Because king e5, queen g5, takes, king d4, he's somehow much faster now. Takes here, king g4 here, h4 here, no, c5, h5, c4. Yeah, this looks much faster, but if you go here and queen g4, takes, king g4, king c3, h4, oof, this is h5, c5, h6. Yeah, this is way quicker. So let's go. Wait, but what's wrong with this one? Maybe king e7. And there's no exchange of queens. Alright, 90, almost there. Let's jinx it. Let's jinx it. Give me a second. To get a ball of war. Okay. It's time to give a checkmate here, but how? How do you give a checkmate here? Rook lift on f4, h4. Oh, you lured the rook on g7. Poor guy. Ball of war. Yeah, rook f4, rook g8, rook h4, rook g7, and then rook h6. And the usual defensive move would be f6 or f5, but f6 is met with this fork, which is so sad. So sad for black. Is that right? Oh, this one. Does that look good? It looks good. Is that true? Well, it's yet to be seen. Rook f4, rook h4. I think it is. Knight is useless. I mean, if we exclude this defensive task, which is redundant. Rook f4. I had a mouse slip once in the high puzzles, and let me tell you, it wasn't pleasant. It was funny, but it wasn't pleasant for me. Rook h6. Beat it. Okay. Now it gets scary. Scarier and scarier. Bishop d5. What's up with that? Takes, queen d5, king g3. King g3, knight e4, and something has to happen. Something has to exist. Yes, because I'm very clumsy, a clumsy person who drops pieces all the time, and I don't want to mess it up after almost an hour of trying. Because the first try was 31. It took some time, but it was a failure. So let's first check this. Like, do I have a luxury to not give a check? I don't think so. Because rook on d8 is attacked, rook a8 is a threat. I cannot magically stop both. So I gotta give a check, right? That's the first conclusion. I gotta give a check. What do you say? Bishop d5 takes maybe some zigzag checks, like ladder checks. So this takes here, king g3, queen e5, king f3, queen e4, king e2, queen g4. The key is to include the rook in the attack. I don't think you can do it without the rook. Maybe in some cases you can do it with the pawn, to include the pawn and give a checkmate, but usually you need you'll need a rook to enter the game. Once the king steps on the e-file, then the rook will come with tempo, because once again we cannot really afford to not give a check. White threats are just overwhelming, and it's not possible to expect a slow move like, let's say, knight g4 and just chill. Let's take on d5. Take twice. And now give these... I don't think it's knight g4 check because of king g3. Queen e5, king g4, queen f4, king h5, and then the king will wiggle out. What I think is the move is just queen e5. Queen e5, king g2, queen e4, king g3, and then queen f4. King g2, take on g4, king f1, and then you go e2. Forcing the king to take when you can go rook f8 and then give a checkmate. King e1, rook f1, king d2, rook d1 seems good enough, and so on. So I wanted this, that here, and e2. If you move your king to e1, well, Maybe just check and queen d1, like this one, queen d1, and if you go to c3 I promote. If you go to e3 I give a check, or just do this, and now it's overpowered. And if you take on e2, I still go rook e8 check, and you can deliver checkmate in a million ways. Or maybe not. 94 here. Huh. Wait a second. No, maybe it's simpler to go queen g4. Because you don't have to have a knight on the board to give a checkmate if you can include your rook. So let's say this, he cannot escape anymore because of that. And if he steps on the e file, rook e8, and it will slowly become death. Not sure how exactly, but death. Maybe this one and include it more, like this way. Yeah, 92. Next pause. Next pause is this. Takes and then c3. Well. Takes c3. If you take, I go b2 and bishop to d3 next. Takes c3, and then you go c2 and then take. Should be okay. Well, I have to keep a suspenseful stream somehow. Takes c3. That looks good. Push b2 with either rook a1 or bishop d3. If you go c4, I go for rook a1. I don't know what's the catch here. It looks very straightforward, I don't know. What could be the alternative? I don't see it. And now again, I don't take on b2. Oh, this is the stuff. So, tricky part is not to take on b2. What? Oh, I see. Take with the rook. No, take with the rook c2, takes bishop b2. So this rook c1. Oh, this actually is a tricky part. Wait a second. How do you break through here? Bishop d3, yeah. I wasn't looking at this at all. Bad thing. And then on rook d1, bishop c2. And then you take on b2 and you get what you want. Ooh. This is sneaky. Takes, rook c8, here bishop f7, but then your queen and it's easy from there. But you have to stop some certain things, like h5. But I played g5 and that's okay. So what do? We go cb2. '93. Queen e7 immediately, rook f1. King f1. Oh, there's a discovered check. Jeez. No, but there is. Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, but you can take and go queen f6, king e8, check, here take on h7, and this is winning. Come on. Come on. It's gotta be winning. Or is it? Is it winning? Takes, queen f6, king e8, check on h8, king d7, takes on h7, king c6. But I can also take on g6, can I? Can't I? Knight f3 double check, king f1. Doesn't seem too bad. Okay, let's pray for rook f8 and queen f6. I don't think it's this. King goes to g8 and I don't see how this continues. Queen f6, knight f3, king f1, queen g1, king e2, queen g2. That's already very creepy. But wait, king e2, but there's d4 always. Not looking great. So queen f6 and then pick this one up. And then pick up g6 as well. Let's do it. Let's do it. And now if I go with the king to h2, knight e2 is annoying, so I think I gotta go for this, embrace the double check. Knight f3, king f1, nothing is really that scary. Queen g1, king e2, and that's it. No checks. g2 doesn't hang now, and the knight has to move when e6 will drop, and black is in big trouble. So I hope. So I hope. Okay. Good, good, good. Great. What's happening here? Maybe rook c8, queen f1. Does bishop b5 do anything? So rook c8, queen f1. I thought about bishop b5, and the point is, if you take on b5, I can take on c1, and on king h2 there's queen h5, or a fancier checkmate, rook h1, king h1, queen h3, and enter here. So what do you do? Here, bishop b5, rook c8, bishop f1, d7, let's say, queen h3, rook h8, king h8, d8, but there's no follow-up check. Rook e4, I could go with queen f1 immediately, and doesn't seem that great. So rook c8, let's do it. Let's try it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, but there's a potential stalemate. I mean, there's no stalemate, but because there's a passed pawn. But almost. Almost there. Bishop e5 is the first thought, but it's a very shitty one because bishop e5 back is check. And then my queen hangs. So bishop h6 maybe then. Bishop h6 and then take on f7. But I'm not sure what do I get here with that. Bishop h6 takes, queen f7. I don't know. I mean, it's a passed pawn and everything of that sort, but is that so good? I guess it is, because this d pawn will be painful. Plus h4, g5 ideas will come, so... Yeah, I see where he's coming from. So, bishop h6 here, and queen f7. And on queen g5, what do you do? What do you do? Oof. Also, this one looks pretty tempting, but I don't know, rook f6 or anything else. Even g5 looks good here, maybe. So bishop h6, but it looks so slow. Queen g5. But what do I play if I don't play bishop h6? Bishop f7? But then ef, queen f doesn't look so convincing to me. But wait, at least he took a pawn there. Here he doesn't take a pawn at all. Oh, I have to think now. That's the worst. Aha, maybe he has bishop f7, ef, queen f, bishop f6 with double threat to capture a bishop and or bishop h4. So maybe it is bishop h6 in the end. Bishop h6, king takes, take on f7, queen g5, h4, queen f4, takes, king h3, and the d pawn decides the game. But that's too naive to think. I cannot take on f4, by the way, because of check on f8. King has to go to g3 and bishop f2. Losing my only hope. But this rook e5 looks somewhat decent. Wait. What do you do on rook e5? Queen d6 maybe? But then I take on f7, bishop e5. Oh. Rook e5. Kids World, hello. No, but now wait. That's not all. Rook e5, queen d6. That looks like not good. Bishop f7, ef, queen f, bishop f6. Oh no, I'm gonna fail this. This one doesn't look good, but something is wrong with this one either. Like queen g5, and I cannot see what to do. Maybe there's d7 and... Oh, but wait, is there some... Let's go with bishop h6. I don't know what to expect here. Then just queen f7 and... I don't know what was that. I couldn't really get this one. So queen g5, h4, okay. Takes, king h3, okay. And what, bishop e3, knight to d1. That's obscure. Rook d8, knight e3, here. Ah, there's always rook e7. If you take on d6, there's gonna be g5 and rook e7. Because you can't step on h5 due to small problems. Okay. But let's say what happens on rook d8, rook e7. Oh, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I was too shallow. Shallow. Okay, 96 and counting. Maybe this one will be simpler. Wishes. Takes, king h2. Rook h8. If queen h8, bishop d6, and some checkmate. Oh, but my queen is on f1. Okay, different rules for me. Wait a second. So I give a check. So what? Rook f1, rook h1 takes queen f1 here. Well, I hope I get bishop d6 in the end. Come on. Give me that. At least. Once the king gets to h2, I have bishop d6 and goodbye. It has to work. Come on. Come on. So rook h1 here. If bishop to g1, which I didn't see, didn't look, there's gonna be something. And that something is weird. What is that something? Rook g8 maybe? No, rook g8 is a disaster. Because of rook a7. a7 drops. Be careful. So this takes bishop g1. And bishop c5, I think. That should work. Followed by rook h8. Tise was Billy. Bishop c5, queen g7, king c6, and rook a6. I can simply pick it up. Pick it up. Yeah. Oh, but wait, knight to d2. What's going on there? What is going on? Bishop f6, huh? Bishop f6. And then we have fun. Bishop f6. I mean, rook a7 is nothing, basically. Bishop f6, followed by this one. Although followed by capturing a rook. Because if I go rook h8, he takes and goes here, so I'd go with capturing the rook. Yes. Bishop f6. Ooh. Oh, Platin. d6, rook e7, d7, rook e8. Simple recipe. So d6, if king f8, rook f8, rook f7, king e8, d7, king d8, and just rook f8, pick up the rook. If you go to h8, well, rook e7. Followed by d7. Huh. What to do? What to do? Rule number 1, always give a check. Especially if it's a discovered check. Always give it. d6, d7. Yes, Debily, I'm from Balkan. Rook e7. I'm Serbian. d6 and rook e7. What can possibly go wrong? So let's go a bit deeper. d6, king h8, rook e7, b3, d7, b2. I don't know. It looks like that. And then rook e7, b3, d7, b2, maybe bishop a2, but wait, rook e7, b3, d7, b2, rook e8, king g7, this, queens. Oh, but you don't have anything. Actually, you attack e4. with checkmate. Rook e7, b3, maybe just take. That's funny. So funny. Rook e7, b3. d7, b2, bishop a2. Rook a3. Rook e8 here. Here. Now you spend tempo on rook a2 and promotion happens with queen f8. Could be. Could be. I think if you go with rook c7, I have something like rook e8 maybe. No, rook c7, rook d8 is a problem, and if d7, king g7, that is... Ne danas, ali može sutra. Rook e7. d7, b2 here. Yeah. Okay, two more. Two more until 100. So going for EF, rook h7. The king goes where? Here. Oh, but no. You have queen d6 and you'll be there. So GF, rook h7, king f8, queen d6, king g8, and we got this. There's no queen g6 without losing a rook, so that could be it. And first of all, I don't think I don't capture the knight. It has to be captured. So GF, rook h7, king e8. Wait, I can go to e8 actually. Get to e8, and then if you take twice on c7, I give a checkmate on g2, which is nasty. So GF, rook h7, king e8, rook h8, king d7, rook h7, king c6. I escape, don't I? Looks pretty good. But wait, let's calculate what's wrong with king f8. Aha, maybe there's rook h8, and if I go to g7, queen e5, and if I go to f7, then g6 might be a problem. But yeah, first of all, I have to take with the g pawn, because if I take with the e pawn, then he gives a check. I cannot get to e6 because of checkmate on e5, and here comes the trouble. And now here we go again. King e8. Escape to d7 c6. This one doesn't seem right. Actually, there's I think even more direct draw. Queen d6, king g8, queen e6, king h7, and now you can't avoid perpetual. Queen h6, queen g6, queen e6, and there's back and forth. Basically, the only defensive piece is this rook against queen's checks, and that's not enough. So let's move here. Avoid any checks. Please be king e8. Yes. Yes, sir. Oh boy. This is scary looking. Scary looking. So promote with check. Go here. Rook d7, king h6, queen f8, king h5, rook h7, king g4, and voila. The king escaped. This here, rook d7 here, queen f8 here, rook f7 here, this. Yeah, it's gonna be a checkmate. Also, what else can I do if I move my rook to f1? Now it's not covering g5, which is crucial to not get checkmated. So just promote, and go to g7. Oh, I didn't see that. But okay, now it's too late anyways. So takes, and go back to h6, queen f6, rook g6, and you'll escape. Okay, coolzy. Queen c6 takes, rook b8, king d7, knight e5. Huh. Queen c6 takes, rook c8, king d7, knight e5, king c7, knight c6 takes, g4. Or do you just enter with the king, like king c7, king e3, king d6, king f4, and then start pushing these pawns? I think it is. You gotta block e5 and then you do the rest. So takes, rook b8, King d7, 95, king c7, 96, takes all on b8, king f2 here, king e3, there, king f4, e5 takes, go here, maybe g4 now, or... Oh, but you don't even do anything, just a4. Prepare yourself to capture a pawn. So that's nice. You don't push this pawn when he plays e5. And I go for f4. Okay. Well, it's gotta be g4. And on f5, on a5, f5, promote this f pawn with check. Oh no, let's not lose this trick because of stupid mouse. What do you say? G4, yes or no? Two more. I don't see anything else besides g4. If I make my king run, then my pawn gets less flexible. It gets pushed, and now it's much easier to stop the pawn. So g4. And now f5. Because if you take, there's e7. Okay. Okay. Rook b4. g3, c6. If I begin with c6, then there's check and king g3 or king e3. So I think I gotta pin this. And if g3, then c6. And if he goes f2, Well, then I have a pretty big choice, I believe. But I could take and go king e2 or something like that. To pin or not to pin? If f5, then I go c6 and then capture on e4 to not waste time. Or just push c7 even further. I think I just play rook b4. If I took, then I'm not sure. King e3, g3, g2 looks pretty scary. So let's go here and then c6. g3. Damn it. c7. What's wrong? If f2, then queen, and there's no time for anything to be done. Because if I take on e4, I have a feeling that it's gonna be a pretty bad one. f3, yeah, it's gonna be horrible. Wow. Adventure is much. Rook f5. If bishop takes, king g8, h7, and with bishop f6. Looks good. My very, very detailed analysis of this position. Yeah, looks good. Let's go. If knight g5, then what do we do? Rook f8, I guess. And if knight e4, knight e4. d4, bishop e4, and the king is really in the worst shape possible. What to do? Rook f5. Nothing else makes sense. I mean, I can also take the second rook on a8 and be fine with it. So I'm doing these puzzles too quickly, but when something is just feels right, like rook f5, you need to check it one more time. But let's not check. Take on f8, knight e4. Oh yeah, my knight was lost on d6. Oof. What a loss. Rook a8. Rook a8. Isn't that right? Rook a8, and then you bring the other rook into play, and the king is not happy. Not happy at all. Okay. 39 to go. But what is this? I'm 2 pawns up. I can take on f3 and then what happens? Ah, if you take on f3 with the bishop, then he takes back. Rook f3, bishop e2. Trouble. But if I go rook f3 immediately, and he goes bishop e2, I can take on f2 and his queen is pinned. Wow. Okay. So I take with the rook. Rook takes, bishop takes, 2 pawns up, game over. I mean, puzzle over more than game over. So, what do we do? Yeah, we do rook f3. Bishop f3 is a no-no. Rook f3. Oh, but rook f4, right? Wait, rook f4, queen e5 takes... Ah, rook on d1 hangs. Yeah, I have to move my rook, and the only way to save my queen and save the rook is not g3 but f4. My rook doesn't get stuck, does it? Oh. Okay, knight c5. Maybe it's bishop e6 first. To provoke bishop e6, knight c5, king d8, knight e6. Give some pendulum, I don't know, knight b7 in the end, or... Aha, maybe in the end there's knight d2. Bishop e6, bishop e6, knight c5, king to d8. Oh, maybe there's... Wait. This knight c5 here. Knight e6, king d7 back, king d8 back, bishop c7 here, queen e7. But it doesn't quite work. But I think it is bishop e6 first move. Wait, I'm a pawn down. Only a pawn down. You would expect that white sacrifice something big for this. But no. No, he didn't. Bishop e6 I like a lot. Bishop e6, knight c5, king d8, knight d6, king d7, and then go back. King d8, and then bishop c7. But still, it's not really. Oh yeah, it's clear. Wait a second. Takes here. Oh, but yeah, I told about king c8 here. Go here, take a rook. It might be even very clear what is going on. Okay, time to move something. Time to move. Strange. Very strange. No test. So here, let me see. Knight d6, king d7, knight c5, king d8 back, knight d2. So it is that, and rook b1 maybe. Slash rook d1, king e2. Yeah. What's up with this one? It also works. Oh, nice. And still the same stuff. Knight e2, rook to b1. And then you might even go king to b1. King to e2. Okay. Are we gonna be greedy? No. Are we gonna take the knight? No. What are we gonna do? No, I have no idea. Maybe rook h2. But that looks very stupid. Wait, check. King f3. And now some sorcery. Aha, maybe check king f3 and then take on d6. Could be. Could be. Wait, what if I go straightforward, like check here, check, king e3, knight g4, king to there, rook d6, king c2, and I miss one tempo. one little 93. So check this out. I don't see concretely what's gonna happen, but I feel like this king is in a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, I think once it gets to f3, I take on d6 and then give a check knight g4, because then the king won't be able to escape to d3, and if it escapes back to f3, I have rook f6 and capture f2, so that could work. So let's say queen h3, king f3, rook d6, knight c4, for example. But then check, king e3, knight g4, king f3, and rook f6. Pick up this or pick up h2 with mate. Let's freaking go. That's it. 107. Well, is this simply GH? And if you give a check, king d2, now queen is attacked, g7 is attacked with checkmate. So maybe some rook d3 stuff, but you take it. Escape successfully. And go on. If GH by any chance, then queen h5, targeting f7 and h6. Am I too fast? Maybe. What else is there? g6, then I take twice, take once and go queen d7. So that's not gonna work. I think that's it. I think everything is covered. And then I miss one move, which luckily doesn't work. Queen b1, king d2. Aha, there has to be rook e2 considered. Yeah, so let's say gh, queen b1, king d2, rook e2, king e2, queen c2, king f3, queen d3, king g2, and I guess I escape all that. I think I do. I think I pretty much do. Wow. Bishop h6. You can't go to g8 because of queen d8. you cannot take because of the hanging queen. So you're left with king f6. So what next? Well, let's look for more checks. Queen d8. Oh, but that's not good. Wait, bishop h6, king f6. And maybe now some subtle move like, I don't know, maybe queen d8, king e6. Not so subtle. Bishop h6, king f6. I don't know, maybe bring it back, king g7 and queen takes d6. But really? That one? Aha, maybe it's this and queen d6. Queen e6. Queen d4. King e7. Bishop g5. Not so great. Wait, bishop h6. Here. Queen d6, let's say queen e6. Well, I gotta start with bishop h6, no other way. If I give this check, king goes to e6, I don't really see it. If I don't take, I don't know what to do. Queen e6, queen to d8. Oh yes, queen to d8. And if king f7, queen f8, checkmate. If you go to e5, queen d4 is mate. So if this is the only way to continue, then something is definitely wrong. Queen d4, king e7, bishop g5, king f8. And now wait. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close to getting this one. No, but you still give a check on... No, this is queen e6. Oh, yeah. Jeez. Oh, but doesn't matter at all. Wait a second. Queen d6, queen e6, check. No, we talked about bishop e6 lately. But then I go here. King f5. And now I gotta do something. Like maybe g4? No. Wait. Queen d6, queen e6, queen d8. That's this stuff. Bishop e6. But again, I can go queen d8, king f5, and there's bishop g5. Some slow move. Queen d6, bishop e6, queen e8, king f5, and then no, it has to be something else. This, queen d8, king f5. Wait, this, queen d8, king f5. Queen g5, king e4. Queen c5 maybe. Okay, let's do this, and luckily he does that. Queen d8 and bishop g5. What was the mate? Queen d8, king f5, g4. Wait, if you take, what happens? Oh, queen g5 and queen g2. Okay, that's rough. And if king e4, check, check here, force this, and the same. Didn't see this picture at all. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'll see you tomorrow with, I would say I'd first continue this trick and then do the rest, playing with viewers and stuff like that. See you tomorrow, guys.